double check with YouTube and make sure that they're uploading my videos because it seems like two videos that I thought uploaded didn't upload. And I looked again at my channel and the video that I thought I uploaded from this morning did not upload. So while I'm uploading one right now, I'm making another one. Quickly, I'm learning from my book that I found in college from a professor in the science department. He left it in the hallway in the building that I was taking a class in. I was taking a leadership class. And this is physiological psychology. And it goes into the brain, like the physiological responses, the hormones, the circuits. It's funny because I was actually studying the homework that I'm supposed to be studying for my exam, my CAMT exam, and I was studying electricity for the electrical maintenance and repair portion. And while I was doing the formula Ohm's law, which is volts is equal to amps times ohms. Amperage is the intensity slash rate, um, quantity um, of electrons that pass, while ohms is the amount of resistance that the electrons face in their movement, and volts is the electromotive force that is responsible for forcing moving electrons. Let me make sure I get that right. It's a force, yes, the electromotive force, EMF. And then there's a law, how you lose electricity, which is through watts, when watts is equal to volts. I'm looking at my notes because I'm making sure I get it now. But I did do it in my other video, and maybe do it again. Do it again? No, 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 no. Volts times amperage, which again, you remember the previous in Ohm's law, volts is equal to amps times ohms. So now we're timesing the amps, which is supposed to be like what? 1/4 what volts was able to do. That's what this looks like in the drawing though, but I guess because it's times. Draw this out real quick in the math formula. 1 is equal to half times 1/4, bitch. What the fuck do you need to look at it twice? Anyway, electricity flows along as a completed circuit. These loads are the movements harnessed through numerous devices. It can be your hair dryer, your TV, your computer, your laptop, cell phone when it's charging, light switch, receptacles, plugs, outlets. The outlet is where I don't know how those work, but where you plug it. Plug it in, plug it in. And then I opened this book, and then the first page I landed on, I grabbed this book because I knew it was going to be useful in the future, and I was so curious about like chemistry. I was just convinced I was going to learn all these things eventually, and so I kept the book and like I read the things that did make sense to me, and then other stuff. As my education has grown, now I can look back, and now that because I have to still have the book, I can look back and actually find things, and like I like the fact that we have how humans see. Oh, I can finally fix my eye. Yes. See, the chorioid layer. Looking again, you'll see the next layer of the eye adjacent to the scleria is a structure called the chorioid layer or coat. This darkly pigmented layer of tissue has two basic functions to support the blood vessels that help supply fuel to the retina and to absorb light waves that have scattered after corneal refraction. The choriolator do not prevent these scattered rays from striking the retina. The image you perceive will be blurred. Not all animals have this choriolator layer. The cat, for example, has a layer that does not absorb scattered light. It acts instead as a mirror, reflecting right back into the eye. Iris passes the cornea and the aqueous humor encounters the iris. As light passes through the cornea and the aqueous humor encounters the iris, a colored contractile membrane Color of the iris is the color of the eyes. Small opening in the center of the iris. The pupil controls the amount of light that reaches the back of the eye. The pupil can open, the word frequently used is dilate, about 5/16 of an inch in diameter at its widest. And at its narrowest, it measures about 1/16 of an inch in diameter. And the widening and narrowing of the pupil are governed by two sets of smooth muscles under the control of autonomic nervous system. The muscles work to regulate the amount of light entering the eye's interior. In periods of stress or intense concentration, the sympathetic nervous system stimulates the pupil to dilate. This action increases the amount of light entering into the back of the eye. In periods of relaxation or bright sunshine, the parasympathetic nervous system stimulates the pupil to contract. This reaction decreases the amount of light that can enter the back of the eye. But the book opened up to addiction. So this addiction tells you why you start to develop an immunity to the drug that you started taking, because your body's liver is breaking it down so that toxin, that's what it is, doesn't get to your brain right away. But while it's doing that, your brain is actually developing, in your liver is developing an immunity slowly, is getting used to it. So it's sending it to the brain at a higher, quicker rate, and then you're no longer getting the same effects. And they talk about your withdrawal symptoms afterwards. Monosympathetic effects. 5 groups of psychoactive drugs. The cataloging of behavioral effects of drugs. The psychopharmacological recent progress. Drugs and behavior. Depressants, alcohol, stimulants, antidepressants, mode of action, drugs at work, antipsychotics, psychedelics, screening of psychoactive drugs. I didn't even know this is in here. Addiction, how tolerance develops. The more of the drug that is taken, however, the enzymes produced by the liver accumulate and the destructive effects of the drug intensify. And because more of the drug is destroyed before it reaches the brain, there's less effect of the behavior. Thus, in order to achieve the behavioral effects of the original dosage, your liver got better at breaking up the toxic effects that will send it up to your brain, but it's still accumulating in your liver, despite these enzymes starting to exist. And so then you need more of these drugs. And so it jumped over to addiction. So what happens to a heroin addict? You're going to be vomiting and diarrhea, and every joint of your body is going to hurt. You wish you die. You feel too badly to do anything about it. Sorry. And take that doublet and spread it over 4 to 5 days. I'm out of classes on Wednesday, officially. Don't look for me when I have to go to work. I'll see you most of the days for those days. Can we figure out how to make money while I'm at home with you dealing with your addiction habit? Because we're going to have to pay for the days that I'm not going to the other work. I want 3 jobs, nigga. Let's make this fun. Let's make this fun. Let's not make it about me, and let's not make it all about you. Let's make it about us and you. Okay, because I found something really cool about the male brain in the same book, but let me go into addiction. These symptoms are real, not imagined. Once the addiction is established, the withdrawal procedure inflicts enormous punishment on the body. So much that addicts going through the withdrawal have to be watched carefully to prevent them from attempting suicide. That's why I said I'll be here. Or maybe not every day if you don't need me here every day. Just let me know. Okay. I don't want to be annoying you when I don't need to be annoying you. Because, sometimes people we want around get annoying too. Or you get annoying to them. And y'all both annoying. But at least I'll be honest about it. I'll be here. How addiction starts. Euphoria is one of the reasons, outside of the fact that you could have been given it a drug because of pain management, but most of us are chasing something. The opponent process theory, this is the physical dependence of the drug and the opponent process. They said they think they could offset it with Dietary control, an alternative to drug therapy. You back with Dr. Coco now? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Let me stop. Is she trying to kill me or help me? Okay. Looking ahead. Oh, wait. How boys' brains develop the snaps and the chemicals. So it shows up, these chemicals develop in the body. And whether, okay, the androgen is present, and that's what turns you into a boy. And if it's not present, then you go into the girl circuit. And it's so funny that I found that because we're learning about circuits and the use of electricity, because electricity will only flow along the completed circuit. And it showed us pictures of hermaphrodites. And there was a boy, looked like a girl. He looked like a girl. He had the titties and the vagina, and they were like, "Oh, this one is a girl," and I couldn't see it because I saw the other one. I thought that one would count as a girl because it was like a vagina, but it had a mini penis at the top where her clitoris was supposed to be, but it looked a little like it didn't hang. It had the head, and so then I was just like, this is probably why they do female circumcisions in Africa. They want to make sure, like, back up, nigga, like I'm girl. I mean, none of that extra. They said get the boys, not me. Um, but what did I find in this book? Because I see the neural basis of rage and fear, the early studies, the anatomical basis of emotion. That's a different part. But like, okay, so they find this in the human body. What happens in the womb, or I guess because the father determines whether it's going to be a girl or boy. Okay, so when it's flying, your XY chromosomes, XX or XY, um, XX is girl, XY is boy. And the presence of estrogen is what develops the male brain. Can you imagine that? The presence creates the male track. The presence of a woman will make him a man. And so, how does that work? Because they asked a really good question in the book. How come the female's estrogen doesn't affect with her brain? There's this thing called alpha feto. It destroys the excess estrogen from getting to our brain. So we're just like, fuck that girl shit. It's alpha feto just like defeat this bitch. No, I'm tired of this shit. Something else, but we're still girly. Um, and the presence said they said that the estrogen is different because our estrogen flows through our bloodstream, so it's already in our bloodstream, so it can go to our brain, but the alpha fetal stops it. But for the males, they have testosterone in their system because of the androgen that they got while they were in the womb, like that they just got a surge of androgen that was sent to their body. We both have both sexes, but they got an extra surge that was present enough in the womb before they got to decide what sex they were gonna be. And what happened? Yeah. So the female estrogen develops in their brain and it creates more of these male dominant trait circuits. And then I thought it was funny because I remembered a Greek mythology about Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and how Zeus actually created her he birthed her from his head. And I was just like, hey, this is kind of like the same thing, but it's different, but it's different, but it's different. And yeah, I like this book more and more. Thank you. Oh, which professor gave me this? Delusions and the Brain. It's important to stress here that as yet no neural evidence has been uncovered to confirm or disconfirm the deviant filter theory of schizophrenia. For obvious reasons, only a limited amount of research can be done on the brains of schizophrenic. Studies involving lower animals, however, implicated two areas of brain potential sites for deviant filter. What is deviant filter? We didn't even learn about this yet. Deviant filter theory. Our ability. This phenomenon, our ability. Hold on. It's something about selective attention. I'm trying to. In Broadbent's view, because it's impossible for us to attend to an unlimited amount of stimuli at once, A filter of some sort must work to separate relevant from irrelevant stimuli. If we accept that principle, we put on the deviant filter theory, as sometimes called, holds the schizophrenic are victims of malfunctioning filter systems that flood the brain with more signals than it can handle, thus producing the delusions that characterize schizophrenic behavior. For instance, people who say that someone is spying on them are tending to stimuli that a normal person would ignore. Whisper outside the door, creak in the floorboard overhead, and movement of the curtain. Thus, the schizophrenic patient is offering an explanation to him or her sensible, reasonable, what appears to an outside, but appears to be to an outsider to be an illusion. That's a hard one to crack, because okay, that filtration theory still holds that the stimuli happened. So, like, let's say we're all sitting in the room, right? And while we're sitting in this room, five things have happened at the same time. At the same time, how many people we're gonna say are in this room? We're gonna say there's 7 people in this room, and five things happen. What are we gonna say the five things happen? I don't want anything crazy because I don't want these shit to start happening. You know, I'd be starting to spook myself sometimes. Um, Five things start to happen. Page turns. Let me turn a page in the book. Page turns. I throw in some music. Someone sprays some perfume. Turn on some music. Another person drinks some water. And then I start knitting. Right? I don't know if that was five things. I just started. Okay, drink some water. Drink some water. Spray the perfume. Turn the page. Turn on some music. And then I start knitting. That's five things, right? Okay. It's kind of like a blind man, though. You know what I mean? He might not see me knit, but he might hear me drink the water or turn the page. Actually, I don't know any schizophrenic that to really make this, because I don't know if they're really being delusional. But I mean, like, in that theory, you know what I mean? Like, if someone did all five things in this room, and of the 7 people, only 4 of them witnessed three things, and of those 3 things, the other 3 that were left only witnessed 2 of the 5 things, and let's just say one person witnessed 2 of the 5 things, and then the last person of the 7, let's say, okay, there's 7 people, right? 7 people and 5 things happen. Let me write this down so I don't forget. There's 7 things and 7 people and 5 things happen. Turned on some music, turned a page in my book, knitted something, sprayed some perfume, and drank some water. Right. Of the 7 people, they only saw me do 3 things. 4 of them only saw me do 3 things, right? Take out 4. Now there's 3. 2 of them only saw me do 2 of the 5 things. And they were different than the 3 that the first 4 saw, right? And so then you have one person left, like Jesus. And he saw it all. He saw it all. All. Are we going to call Jesus schizophrenic for seeing what you 4, 3 missed? Because y'all think y'all both are lying right now. And Jesus saw it all. And so, there, we explored deviant filter theory for schizophrenic. And we didn't make them crazy. We're going to try to help them. Unless they're really picking up on, what if they're picking up on ghosts? Electromagnetic force. Sorry, I was studying the physics of certain things, and just in case, want to be ready. Let me stop. Energy doesn't die. Like, think about that. You don't even see electricity, and in some cases, you don't want to because it might be your end. Those are just theories and thoughts. Okay, next page. You gotta learn more about this disease set before I even make a decision on it, because increased dopamine levels induced by amphetamines. This is why I didn't become a psychologist. There's too many things. These things we're finding new leads. Nigga, you finding new leads, the nigga's still sick. Like, visceral disorders such as stomach ulcers are often referred to as psychosomatic. From a physiological point of view, both disorders are rooted in neural breakdown. Psychosis are rooted in the breakdown of cognitive circuits. Psychosomatic disorders in the breakdown of visceral circuits. Hey, look at that. Me becoming a personal trainer, I still get to touch the healthcare side and the psychiatrist side. They said neural system. I meant muscle, bitches. Muscles.